Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another awesome, great, fantastic episode of Same Teams, Different Jerseys. We are back again, the usual, Blakelyn, my co-host Damian, and I guess you're now a co-host and editor, Sonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-host
Are we?
slash editor slash wife slash
OG best friend.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Damian, do you want to kick us off? Because I think you're the one that came up with this week's topic.
Yes, I came up with this week's topic because I was thoroughly upset, and
Are
I'm
we
going to
just gonna
try.
throw this shit against the wall, or are we gonna ease
No,
into it?
I'm going to throw it against the wall, but I got
Okay.
to share something first, so y'all see what I'm talking about. Because let's see if I can share this correctly this time, and
My
not
hair's doing a lot of weird things today.
fuck it up.
I
Do,
put mine
do,
up
do,
so I
do,
wouldn't
do.
mess with it. So
I can't put
Okay.
mine up.
Do. So I do a little bit of trolling, just a little bit.
a little bit's an understatement, but
Yeah, I've been booted off Facebook a couple times. So share screen. Here we go. Okay, as you see on the screen now, this is from the LGBTQ Nation. And they do all this stuff. And I've also been reading a lot of stuff how the LGB wants to divorce from the TQ. There's a ton of things on the TQ. And it's shit like this that has made the LGB want to divorce the TQ. They got like a whole picture of it and stuff like this. This kid right here, how old is he?
4.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. Way too young to transition.
Yeah.
Way too fucking young to transition. And it doesn't go, the article is just a whole bunch of like things from parents of, loving them is easy. It's all for them. The most important thing I learned was that it wasn't about me. And that's fine when they get older. And my personal opinion is I would like to see 18. At 18, you can do whatever you want. If you are 18 years old and you feel like a boy or you feel like a girl, whatever, go ahead. But I wanted to discuss this. My words are not working today, because we have a lesbian. My wife is bisexual. I am straight, so obviously the straight white male has no opinion in this. I just have my feelings, and everybody's going to call me a homophobe,
How
or
dare you.
transphobe. A transphobe. It's more of a transphobe, and I'm not scared of transgender people. That's sorry.
Which is the definition of phobia, by the way.
Yes. So my first question.
I feel like I'm learning so much just in these 2 seconds.
Yeah. So my first question is, at what age do you think if your son or daughter came to you and said, "Hey, I'm not a girl or I'm not a boy," would you be like, "All right, let's go get prescription medication. Let's start lopping shit off."
You're
You know,
talking full transition.
right, because as much as the TQ Nation doesn't want to admit it, there's been plenty of articles out there and stuff like that, that 12-year-olds were transitioning, like medically transitioning. Now,
Oh yeah, there's a huge famous one on the news right now. Oh my God, I follow her on Instagram. What is her name? Oh, she's been meeting with the Supreme Court and everything. She's from California,
Oh,
and
yeah,
she got
yeah.
transitioned at like 12 or 13. She had like a double mastectomy by the time she was 14. And they're like, we're not doing this on underage teenager kids. She's
Yeah,
perfect
clearly
proof
you
that you
are.
are. What is her name? I have to look it up now because it's gonna bug me. I really like her too. I follow a lot of her stuff.
Isn't she
Ah,
detransitioning too?
yeah, Chloe Cole is her name.
Yeah.
Chloe Cole.
yep.
Yeah.
And before Elon bought Twitter, and most of us conservatives were booted off of Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Because Elon pretty much changed the game when he bought Twitter. Everybody else started following suit of not shadow banning,
Censoring.
not censoring the conservatives.
Let's just call it what it is. It's censoring.
It's censoring, yeah, censoring speech. So he helped us a lot to be able to start showing these news articles that everybody was like, "Oh, this ain't fucking happening," and we were screaming it was. So, like your opinion of children don't have bodily autonomy.
Yep.
So if your 12-year-old boy came to you and said, "Hey, mommy, I'm a girl,"
No. Biologically, you are a boy. Sorry. And this goes with anything, right? I think this goes with any identity, right? It's like my two oldest played a joke at the doctors when they were asking them like what they identify as, because that's a thing now. And they were like, just
Jesus.
joking around, they were like, "Oh, I identify as a Walmart grocery bag." And I was like, "You told the doctor this?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Why?" Well, they were like, "Well, it was funny." I was like, "Bro, there is a time and place to be funny. And at the doctor's office, when they're asking you questions, is not the time."
I totally
Because that's what they write
support
down.
her.
They write down Walmart grocery bag. And now they're going to go mental illnesses, question mark.
I totally support her answer. I'm sorry. That was fucking great.
That's awesome.
Did both of them, or did one of them say that?
One of them, the other one said dinosaur.
The grocery bag, let me guess, was it the Spitfire? Fucking knew it. Next time you see her, tell her I love her so much. She's my spirit animal. I love her.
Don't get me wrong, she's most of our spirit animals, okay? She's the person that we're like, we should have been like this as a child. I want to be like this now as an adult.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, yes, it is funny. But there's a time and place to be funny, right? Because they write that down. They're like, okay, Walmart grocery bag, check. Mental illness, question mark. Okay, next one. Dinosaur. Dinosaur. Mental illness, question mark. Identity issues, question mark. Reality versus mental capacity, question mark. Right? So it brings concerns.
Yeah.
And I don't know when people started asking about this identity thing. Like, you ask me, what is my identity? I'm going to tell you human being. That's what I am. I am a human being. That is what I identify as.
Right. And I mean, just the word bisexual, two genders. So now, do you understand the reason that the LGB wants the divorce?
Yeah, and I fully heartedly support it. I fully supported it when they started doing that whole like weird inclusivity bullshit with pedophiles.
So
Because that was a thing too.
when I went to school, I was like totally for. We had like a LGB, like ally club.
Allies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so
you
I was
both
like
had
totally
that.
for it. Totally
Yeah,
for
when I
it,
was
right?
yeah, my high school had it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
It
So
was all the weird kids though, so I never went.
Yeah. Yeah, it was seen I was a weird kid in high school, so I went.
Oh no. I mean like the weird kids.
So I remember like graduating and being like, okay, and like trying to keep up on it and everything else. And then I remember like my breaking point was literally when they were like, oh, so now we're queer and now we're this and now we're that. And I was like, okay, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, but queer used to be a blatant insult. And now if you ask them, like,
Yes.
what does that mean? They're like, oh, it just means that like we don't care what your gender is. It's like, okay, but you're still like, I had one of them look straight at me and was like, well, we use it as a word now because so that you guys can't use it as an insult. Okay.
Are we gonna change gay to fag? Please tell me we're gonna change gay to fag, because I love that word.
Really?
I love, bro, when I play video games, oh my God, it's bad. Fag is my favorite word.
But it's wild to me that there seems to be no boundaries. Like the LGB, we have our, our
To be honest,
clear,
LGB, we have what we wanted.
yeah.
We have it. It's here. Which, by the way, it went to the Supreme Court and they didn't even like fucking bat an eye.
And
Just
you
saying.
won,
Oh,
much like we all said. Like,
yeah.
now I
That's because
made
that
my,
Kim Davis lady's a
she was a fucking fruitcake. I disagreed with it. So my opinion,
she's taking up my precious oxygen. I'm
yes.
just saying.
So even conservatives don't like her. And the reason we don't like her is because none of us have a problem with gay marriage. We never did. Well, like way back in the day, probably. But we're talking like in the past 20 years, nobody gives a shit. If two men get married, two women get married, fine. Do you, boo boo? Whatever. Here's the problem that we always thought, like, okay, if you want to get married at a courthouse, fine. Or if you find a church that allows it, that's fine. But don't go to a Catholic church, walk in there and go, hey, we want to get married. And when the Catholic church, the priest looks at you and goes, sorry, that's against our religion, don't cause a stink.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the cake thing. Like she wouldn't,
Yep.
they wouldn't bake the cake. And they passed like 50 fucking cake places to get to that one. And it literally was called like Christian Cake Place, or it was obviously,
Yeah, like you're going out of your way. You're trying to do it on purpose to get a rise. Like, and I agree. Like, both marriages that I've had, my first one was in a courthouse. My second one was a backyard wedding where we had a friend of ours who was ordained do our marriage ceremony, and then I just took it to the courts and submitted all the documents.
yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that. Like, if I wanted to get married in a church, I wouldn't be offended or upset if I went to a church and they were like, "Hey, sorry, we support like we're I can't say support. Support's the wrong word.
We'll pray for your sin."
Yeah, like we're okay with you guys getting married and everything, but our church cannot condone and support it. It's against our views. Cool, man. Totally get it. There's shit that's against my views and my morals too that I'm not going to allow, like in my house, right? It's the same concept. Like, I wouldn't allow something in my house. You can't get offended when I tell you get the fuck out of my house. It's my house.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept in my opinion.
Right. And I think if you work for the state, like that woman was dumb. If you work for the state, you can't look
Not
at somebody that walks and not do your fucking job.
Like, that's blatantly what it is. Like she just refused to do her job, in my opinion. She should have just been fired.
That would be the equivalent of going into the DMV.
She was, though, if I remember correctly.
She was fired, then she sued him. The case keeps on going, and by the time it got to the Supreme Court said, "Shut the fuck up, go away. You're like wasting time." And everybody was convinced that the conservative Supreme Court, that's the majority now, would totally get. Now, I totally support the Supreme Court saying, nope, we're not going to make this ruling. Because nowhere in the Constitution does it say you can get, like, marriage is nowhere in the Constitution. I totally believe that Congress should get off their ass and make a law. Yeah. That's what fucking Congress is for. This should never have went to the Supreme Court. It should never, like, the Democrats have been in power for I don't know how long, and they were always up in arms about the gay marriage, always up in arms. They should have just came out, well, except Obama. If everybody remembers, Obama did say a marriage is between a man and a woman, and then he changed his tune when he started getting the gay vote. So, yep, it's like they support you every 4 years. But correct me if I'm wrong, LGB is a sexual orientation and TQ is an ideology. So they're not even the same.
Yeah. I could agree with it. Yeah. Like, but I don't know. This depends on your views, right? And it depends on what you think. Like, if we go based off of some of your ideology on this, it's all encompassing. It's all the same.
Okay. You fucking brought that up. Okay.
Because it brings a valuable point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this about as blunt as I can, and I have not, for everybody watching this is not to offend. This is not to insult. This is literally me looking at it scientifically, and my wording might not be correct. So I'm still like fleshing this out, this train of thought. All LGBTQ is a mental illness. The reason I say it's a mental illness is because socket into whole. That is the normal. That is the typical normal. I know you guys are going to, and you're free to like give your opinion, but the normal way of natural nature and everything is
What is normal?
Well, normal is, I would say, since the gay community is only what 10% of the population, 90% of people do something, that is normal. And I'm tired of this, like, normal is a bad way of putting it. No, fucking 10 fingers and 10 toes is normal. If you are a person that has 11 fingers and 10 toes, sorry, you're not fucking normal. That's just the way it is. You know, you're not gonna tell me that, oh, this is the new normal. No, it's not. It's 11 fingers. It's fucking weird. You know, so
You're random.
yeah. Well, it's the normal is, and that's the only way to procreate, which is what we are supposed to do in nature. Now, I think the biggest problem is when you tell somebody they have a mental illness, it is an insult. I have a mental illness. I have PTSD.
It's a disorder.
Okay, my wife has. She's on. Is it SSRIs?
Yes.
Okay, but almost the word mental illness. Hence the reason why the transgender community doesn't like hearing mental illness, which is what you have. If you look in the mirror and see somebody different, that's a problem. If I look in the mirror and I see a dog looking back at me, you're going to fucking check me into a hospital. Like if you don't see what is in the mirror, something is wrong. Now, this is not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying you're wrong. And I will even if you want to talk about religion, I will say God made you that way. That's a whole different discussion. But, and like I said, maybe mental illness, we need to change the wording, or maybe we should change it. But even brain scans of, like, they've done brain scans of gay men. So when they show a straight man a naked woman, part of the brain lights up. When he shows him a naked man, the brain doesn't light up. He doesn't get excited about that. When you show a gay man that, part of the brain lights up to a naked man, but totally shuts off with a female. So you're literally wired differently than 90% of the people out there. So maybe you two can help me flesh this out so it doesn't sound so insultive. But I mean, should we change the wording to mental illness? Should we change, like, what should we do?
So I think it just depends, right? Like I think when people say mental illness, I think of something that can be cured, right? A mental illness is something, because an illness can be fixed, right? An illness is like you have the flu, you have the cold. It can be,
Okay.
you can get better. It can be fixed. So I think mental illness has a bad stigma for that one. I think mental illness all around has a bad stigma overall anyways. But I think mental disorder would fit better because disorders normally, right,
Can't be
they
fixed.
cannot be fixed. They can be treated. And I think that's where you're going to have the problem with trying to get people on board with the it's a mental illness or it's a disorder, because what is the fix? If my gayness can be treated, what's the treatment?
Conversion therapy. No, I do not believe in conversion therapy, just so everybody's aware. That was a joke. No,
Right. So what's
there's nothing wrong
the
with you.
Then
but you
why
said
it's
I
a
have a mental
disorder?
disorder.
Just because you have a mental disorder doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. You're just
Okay,
wired
why does it
differently.
need then why does it need the label?
Okay.
I have a disorder. It's never going to be fixed. Ever. I'm going to be
It's
on
just gonna be
medication
treated.
the rest of my life.
Yep. PTSD is literally post-traumatic stress disorder. You cannot make it go away. It will forever be there. The only thing you
Yep.
can do is treat the triggers and treat the symptoms and the actions that happen and try to prevent them. So
Okay.
if I have a mental disorder, my gayness is a mental disorder, how do I treat it?
You don't?
So then why does it need a label?
because it's not the norm.
Just because it's not the norm doesn't mean it needs a label.
Okay.
Food for thought.
So
Food
then you
for
take it
thought.
one step further. Okay. You take it one step further. And I think Damon and I have had this conversation a couple of times of what if, just what if gays, lesbians, whatever, is its natural form of population control? We have so many fucking people on this planet, and nature finds a way.
Yeah.
I don't. Once again, saying population control sounds bad. It sounds like eugenics.
What are you talking about? The Democrats have been doing it for years.
Oh, we're gonna get political? No.
So hold on, really quick though, because genuinely, like, nature does it all the time, right? If there's too many females in, I think there's like a lizard of some kind. If there's too many females,
There's frogs,
right?
lizards, yeah.
They will, reptiles in general, they will some of those females will then transition into males, right? So that they can continue their population. Oh yeah. Like,
You've never heard of this?
No.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's a common thing in the
Clownfish?
reptile world.
Perfect example.
They
Clownfish.
can just do that?
Yeah, they
Yes.
could just switch genders. And
All
we're not. Go ahead.
clownfish, all clownfish are born female, I believe.
Yep.
And then as they develop, they say, oh, there's less male. So let's say 100 of them are female and there's only 50 male. Only 50, like, they'll break down that middle so that there's an even ratio of male to female fish.
Yes. This is a common. This isn't a common argument between transgender
Population
people.
control.
Yeah, it's a common thing between trans. It's an argument that transgenders
I'm
have that
blown
say,
away.
well, because reptiles they change genders and it's normal. I hate it when the TQ community uses animals, or even the gay community. They've used it too. Like there's gay people, there's gay animals. They use animals as a comparison to humans, and I think that's wrong because like there's animals that eat their fucking young too. We're not gonna, we're not gonna compare that. Like it's
So,
not.
I mean, dogs do
sharks-
it. I've watched dogs do it.
Yeah, I'm not
Sharks-
gonna.
One of my dogs when I was young gave birth to a set of puppies, and one of them was deformed, and she ate it.
Yeah,
Sharks
'cause it
eat
was
each other
deformed.
in the womb.
Yeah, yeah, that's totally. But it's not like I'm going to, if my son comes out, mentally
Missing an arm.
handicapped, missing an arm or something, I'm not gonna like cut him up and eat him and be like, well, fucking dogs do it. I mean, that's a
All right,
that's a
Jeffrey
terrible
Dahmer.
argument. Yeah, that's a terrible argument. You can't use animals in comparisons to humans, but
But
I
it's
mean,
part of
chimpanzees
nature.
have the closest DNA, and they throw shit at each other. So maybe we should legalize being able to throw shit at you. I swear, yeah, if we legalize throwing shit at people, bro, I'd be throwing shit all the time.
but
I'd have
Like I
a
said-
trunk in my garage dedicated to bags of shit.
but my argument for that, like I said, I'm still fleshing it out and trying to get a very good scientific way of thinking about it. And maybe a completely different label has to be made. Maybe mental disorder is a bad way of putting it, but
I don't know.
it's-
I see where your head's at, right? And maybe
Yeah.
there should be more research done on it, right? Maybe there should be brain scans. Like there should be a volunteer brain scans. Like, hey, we want to figure out more of the biology between gay, lesbians, trans, whatever, and we want to do brain scans. Because I can tell you right now, I ain't paying for no fucking brain scan. I ain't paying for that.
Right.
That's not happening.
Would
If
you-
a scientist was like, hey, we want to get a group of lesbians and we want to do brain scans and we want to present different photos and see how your brain reacts and how it's similar and how it's different to other lesbians and straight people, bro, I'd sign up in a heartbeat. Sure.
Okay,
Scan my
that's what
brain.
I was just about to ask. Would you?
But
would you
yeah,
sign
I'm all
up for
about
that?
science. I'm all about science.
Yeah,
Like
I
when
am
I
too.
die, like I have a huge thing about my body being donated to science. And I specifically want it to be donated to like something that's working on gay science.
Okay, so would you guys allow your children to get brain scanned
For what?
for the science? If your kid was
the
trans
science
or
of-
gay, if your kids were gay or trans, would you let them get brain scanned?
Children, I think no.
Why not? So here's why I say this. So kids are very influential, and the LGBTQ community, I'm going to say the gay community because that's too many fucking words to say. So the gay community used to be only 1% of the population. In the past, in the past 10 years, it's gone up significantly. Most Gen Zs, I think it is, identify as LGBTQ, like a way more than normal. How do you figure out between the ones that are doing it because of social norms and they just want to be in the cool club, between the ones that are actually gay or actually like they're honestly gay?
So
Like,
I think anything under 10, you're too young to even really understand your own body, let alone what sexually you're into. But I would say like 13, 14, like preteen to like early teenagers, yeah, brain scan them. And if that board lights up when you show a girl a naked boy and her brain lights up the same as a full grown like straight woman or lesbian does when she sees a naked woman, okay, how much of that is social media? But there's so much pressure on these kids now that I think a lot of them want to fit in. They want to feel like they're included in something. And so I think a lot of times you just have to let them be, like let them kind of make their own mistakes. I'm not saying let them transition. Absolutely not. Do not let them transition. When you turn 18, you go do
Yeah, I
whatever
think
you're going
even
to do.
18 is too young.
Okay.
I say 18 because that's an adult, and
Yeah.
I think it's too young too, but there's got to be a cutoff. And if you
I
can
think 25, 26.
no,
I say that because that's when your brain fully develops. That's when you're done. You're done growing. You're done growing physically, mentally, all of it. You are fully developed.
I get that. There's actually a movement on. There's a lot of girls on the Whatever podcast, and I've heard it a few times. I don't know if it's mainstream yet, but they're saying that girls should not be allowed consent, like age of consent should be raised to 25 because female brains don't develop until they're 25.
So I
And
can go
that,
die for my country, but I can't
yeah,
have sex.
yeah, there's a ton of arguments on that, but
That one does not make any
it's
sense.
kind of a thing that they think that the age of consent should be moved to 25 because your brain doesn't stop developing until you're
You
25.
might as well just change the legal adult
Science
age to
makes
fucking
sense,
25 at that point.
but to look at somebody and say you can't have sex, you're going to tell a 24-year-old woman that she can't have sex? I don't know how
Like, I
well
can have a
that's.
job, I can buy a car, I can buy a house, but I can't have sex.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
You can't consent to sex.
Cool.
Well,
So
I guess I'm gonna.
yeah, exactly that.
Like I said, I don't agree with it. That's why I'm saying 18. We have to have the cutoff somewhere, so we're going to use the cutoff of 18.
So for now, we'll just say 18.
Yes.
I also think that it depends on the situation. Like I feel like some is situational. Like I think some girls are like, I'm a lesbian, and it's like, are you though, or do you just really hate daddy? Like,
Okay, as a lesbian, can
Hannah?
you tell the fakers?
Man, I don't know, because I've slept with more straight women than I have gay women. I don't know.
Oh, the joke that all girls are like spaghetti. They're
Yeah,
straight until they're wet.
they're all like pasta.
Yeah.
They're straight until they're
Because
wet.
all straight girls are like, well, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, like every girl, almost every girl goes through like a curious stage.
And
Almost all of them.
guys don't do that. I have never went. It took me about less than a second to walk into the locker room when I was in junior high. The first time I walked into the locker room, and we have to shower when we were in 7th grade back in the day. That's when everybody was scared because in 7th grade you showered after gym, and we were all scared to do it. Every guy was scared to do it. We didn't want to go into a big room with a whole bunch of naked guys. I walked
So
in there.
7th grade is when you figured out you were straight?
Seventh grade. Well, seventh grade, I looked at a penis and went, "That's fucking disgusting."
So you knew you were straight.
I knew I was straight at seventh grade, but I didn't even think about it.
That's funny
before
because the other
seventh
day we
grade.
had this conversation. I asked you how old you were when you knew you were straight, and you were like, "I don't think I ever knew. Or I ever realized. I just
Well,
knew I wanted to be with women."
I knew the penis was disgusting. I knew the penis
Did
was
it take
disgusting.
you trying it to figure it out?
No, I could look at it and go, "That's nothing I fucking want next to me."
Sonia, I think he needs to suck at least one dick to make sure he's not gay.
No, I'm
Oh, thank
pretty
you.
I'm pretty sure
Hard pass.
yeah, I looked at it and was like, "Yeah, that's nothing I want." I don't know how you fucking women look at it. Well, you don't. You do. But yeah. The penis God fucked up on so bad it's not even funny. So
Yeah, but then you have women that genuinely enjoy the look of it. Like, so I don't know.
and other women look at them as weird. Well, no.
Yeah.
I know somebody very close to us that enjoys the hell out of the look of it.
Yeah, and that's bizarre.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen one in real life, haven't you? Or have you just seen pictures?
I've seen a couple. You forget I hung out with nothing but dudes, and dudes do. Y'all do some weird shit. Y'all do some weird shit. Y'all do some
Yeah.
weird stuff with your junk. I'm just saying.
Yes, we do.
I was in high school hanging out with a group of boys, and one of them hung his nutsack out and squeezed them and said, "Look at my brain." And I was like,
The brain.
"Oh my God." I was like,
So-
we just got dicks and balls out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a
Cool.
fidget spinner for us.
Yeah, y'all just do some weird stuff. Y'all just do some weird stuff.
Anyways, but
Yeah, they're revolting. I don't know what people see in them.
so do you tell the kids, since they don't have bodily autonomy, if your kids came to you and said they were gay, would you be like, "Yeah, go ahead, go for it," or would you be like, "You don't know yet"? At what age would they come to you and you'd be like, "Okay, you got a pretty good grasp of your sexual," because as much as people don't like to say it, whether you're gay or straight, it has everything to do with what, like, sex. So whether you like to admit it or not, being gay or straight, being a lesbian or being gay, it has everything to do with what you want to put in your mouth, to be crude about it, basically.
I don't know. We kind of had a run-in with this, right? With my oldest. And I just stick to the simple sentence of, you don't need to label. You don't need to label yourself. Like, you're young. You don't need to worry about this right now. Don't worry about what you are or what you aren't, especially when it comes to sexual orientation. Like, there's so much more in life. Like, you don't need to worry about the simplest of labels of, "Oh, I'm bi," or "I'm gay," or "I'm this," or "I'm that." Like, just be you. You'll figure it out along the way. And then when you figure it out and you know for sure, then if you want to come out about it, by all means come out about it. But like, why are you worrying yourself with this stuff at 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th
Because
grade? Like,
social media.
why are you worrying about it? What the fuck does it matter?
So
That's
what
where I stand. I stand on the whole, like, that you don't need a label.
So what do you think about these parents that say, "Oh, all three of my kids are trans"? I mean, the statistics are so far against you, it's not even funny.
I have an issue with this. I have an issue with it in children, in any child. Okay, my two oldest have claimed that they are a dinosaur and a Walmart fucking grocery bag. So, do I just stop buying clothes for my Walmart grocery bag? Do I stop buying shoes? Do I stop feeding her? You're a grocery bag. You don't need sustenance to live. So do I just stop buying you stuff? You're a grocery bag. You don't need to go to school. You can stay at home all day. You're a dinosaur. You don't have to go to school all day. You can go terrorize the town all day. You're a dinosaur. You can survive on your own. You can find your own food. Have fun. Goodbye. Oh, by the way, you're a dinosaur. I don't gotta buy you clothes. I don't gotta buy you food. You ain't gotta sleep in my house.
Fucking real life Jurassic Park.
Like, what are we doing? Right? That's like when your 5-year-old comes and, "Meow, mommy, I'm a cat." Cool, bro. There's a litter box. Have a good day. Oh, you're a
Oh,
cat? I need to get you a collar and a bell. Oh,
okay.
you're a
So
cat? You don't need clothes.
yeah.
Like, why do you play into this imagination that they have?
Okay. So actually, this comes up with we know a young girl that comes over our house all the time. She doesn't do it anymore, but she used to meow
Mm.
all the
That's the
time.
thing. That's the
And
thing. That's a phase with kids.
but it drove Sonia. Oh, she hated it. She was like, "You're not a fucking cat." Well, she
Like
wouldn't
when
say
the whole
fucking
dinosaur thing was popular with older teens, right? And rar means I love you. Like, no, bitch, rar is a fucking noise that a fucking dinosaur makes.
or lion
That's
or
not I love you. Like,
I
no.
this is why like I think some of it is like situational, you know, because there is a time and a place for everything, you know. There's
Yeah.
like if you're meowing and you're talking to your cat, that's one thing. But if you're gonna meow and then rub yourself on me like a cat would, you're not a cat. You're a child. Knock it off.
Yeah, now depending on their age, right? Like 2 to 5, maybe 6, right? Like that's
Yeah,
cute, that's funny, haha. Everything is play for younger
yeah.
kids, right? Every time is playtime, right? So that's cool, whatever. But if my child comes to me at those ages and says, "Mom, I'm a cat. I'm gonna be a cat. I want to be a cat when I grow up." Like, I'm sorry, I live in reality, bro. That's not a thing. You
But I
want to
also
be a
feel like
cat? Like,
I
you
would
can go
res-
sleep outside like the cats do. You're not gonna be a cat after tonight, are you?
I
Probably not.
think the response though, like again, depending on the age, because I feel like anything like I would say I would even venture to say like 7 and under, like their imagination's still completely rampant.
Oh
So
yeah.
when they come to you, Mommy, I'm a cat. Oh yeah, are you a good cat or a bad cat? Like, and you like play along with it for a little while, obviously, but then it's like, okay, dinner time, come sit down, whatever. And at that point, that as a parent, that is your job to be like, okay, are you a little girl or you're a cat? Because if you're a little girl, you can sit at the table and eat with us, but if you're a cat, you can go. Like, here's some kibble. Like, we're done with this game. Immediately done with this game. It's
Yeah.
dinner time, knock it off. But that
Yeah.
is your job as a parent to look at them and go, okay, playtime's over. It's done. It's dinner time.
Mhm.
Okay, so would you do the same thing if your 7-year-old girl, or some, we'll do boys because for some odd reason boys transition way more than girls do.
Bro, this has
Um,
happened with my son, and my son is older, right?
yeah.
He's got a house full of girls. And there was a day he came and we were in the kitchen and he was like, "I want to be a girl." And I was like, "Not gonna happen. You're a boy. You were born a boy. You're always gonna be a boy. You will always be a boy. Sorry, bro. You got dick and balls. You can't get rid of those. They're there
So,
forever."
so did he just drop it right then and just go on about
Yeah.
his life?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I think we've lost in society is we have no. It's I mean in California
And
and New Jersey,
with
you get arrested if you don't play along. Like if you don't agree, if your 7-year-old comes to you in California and says, "I'm a girl," and you say, "No, you're not," and he goes to school and says, "Well, I thought I was a girl. My mom said no." Cops come to the house and fucking arrest you and take your child away.
this makes my brain hurt.
But there's
It makes my
also like,
it makes my brain hurt because literally, oh my God, dude, like Texas. Okay, I live in Texas, which is very conservative, very Republican, right? Okay. We just had to do a vote on if parents are the legal guardians and have full, I don't want to say ownership because it's not ownership, but full legal grounds for their children. We just had to do a fucking vote on this. Since when have parents not been the legal 100% guardianships of their fucking children? Why are we voting on this stuff? Like this is shit that was etched in fucking stone in the caveman days. Why are we voting on this shit? Why do the police have a right to come in and take my children if I'm not abusing them, neglecting them, and I'm not, if I'm taking care of my children adequately, which mind you, the states say that there's very little that you have to do for your children, right? Food, running water, electricity,
Shelter.
shelter, clothes. Oh, and I think you actually have to have like a bed. Okay, they can't sleep on the floor with nothing. That's all it says. It's very minimal. It's very minimal. So how can you come in here and take my kids? If my kids have everything they need and I'm not neglecting them, I'm not blatantly abusing them, what gives you any right to come take my kids from me?
Is telling them they're not gay abusing though. Like
No,
both of you have a story, and we've told it on another podcast. But
no,
if
it didn't make me not love my mother any less. It didn't make me not appreciate my mother any less. But also, I was the very first child to ever come out. I'm still, I mean, I have questions about one of my cousins, but that's neither here nor there. But, like I'm the only one. But eh, as times go on and times go further on and it's more accepted and it's an easier pill to swallow, when your 15-year-old child comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm gay," it's not going to be like uh, "Are you though?" Like I didn't tell mine, "You're not." I didn't tell mine, "You're not gay, you're not bi, you're not this, you're not that." I just said, "Why do you have to label? Why do you have to label?" Because what happens 3 months from now and you're like, "Don't like that. I'm straight." Are you though? Are you? Because just a couple months ago you said you weren't. So are you? So if we just don't label it, then what the fuck does it matter?
Yeah, I think there's too much attention paid to children, even early teens. I think there's too much attention paid to their sexual orientation. I have a photo of my second brother in a hat with the little boas, and he's in little, I think he's in like my mom's high heels or something, and he's got a purse and whatever. And he 110% straight. But in today's world, that would have been, oh, he's transgender. We have to transition him. And it's like, no, it's just kids being kids.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't agree with. Like I said, I would even say anything under 18. You don't pay any attention to that because, like, I was always a princess, like growing up. Like I knew that that was 110% like I was a girl. And then you had my sister that was a tomboy, because that used to be a thing, who she dressed in, baggy t-shirts and jeans and whatever. And then she hit a point where she was like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. Now I want to look like a girl. And it was just a phase. Now, don't
So
get
I
me
have a,
wrong.
sorry, go ahead.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I have no issues playing in the mud, getting my hands dirty, whatever. But I know that I was always a friggin' princess. I dressed as a princess every year for Halloween. That was Jasmine, Belle, you name it. Where my sister was like ninja. One year she was a mafia brother with my second brother. Like, you can't tell kids who they are based on what they dress up as in that moment because they don't know. A lot of it's curiosity.
So I have a personal story with this. So after I came out the end of my freshman year and I full blown came out of the closet, right? I started getting my hair cut the way I wanted it. I started wearing the clothes that I wanted to wear. I went through a little bit of a period where I thought maybe I should have been born as a boy because I really liked women. I enjoyed men's clothing a lot more. I was wearing, I mean, still to this day, I wear boxers, sports bras. I wear men's jeans. I wear men's shirts, men's hoodies, like I wear hats, I wear beanies, the whole nine yards. So I went through a phase when I was about 15, thinking that, maybe I should have been born as a boy. It would be so much easier, because I had girls that were attracted to the fact that I was very small chested, um, and that I was a little bit more leaner and a little bit more muscular than they were, right? So there were girls that were attracted to that, right? And for a while there, the group of individuals that I hung out with, like, would basically say that, like, I should have been born as a guy because I dressed like one. I somewhat looked like one. I presented myself similar, right? All because I was presenting myself in a more masculine frame, right? I was more masculine presenting. And so there for a while, like I went through a little phase with myself where I was like, maybe I should have been born a man. Like maybe that's how maybe I'm in the wrong body. And it did cause a little bit of issues where I would like look at myself and I'd be like, man, like if I didn't have boobs, like I could do this, I could do that, or whatever, whatever. And that lasted probably about, say, about 6 months. And I never talked to my mom about it. I never talked to my friends about it. Like, I never did anything about it. Like, it was just an internal battle in myself. And then I just started feeling comfortable in my body. Like, I started doing things that made me feel more comfortable in my body. Like, started working out more so that my boobs didn't potentially grow because I knew I didn't want big boobs. Like still to this day, like I have zero desire to have big boobs. They're miserable. So, I knew I didn't want that, right? I knew I wanted to be muscular. I knew I wanted to be in shape. I wanted to be buff and all this other stuff. And so I just started working towards that goal. Like I found the little things that I liked that I could do for myself and I started doing those things. So I started working out more. I started eating better. I started taking care of myself a little bit better. And after like months and months of doing that, right? Like I said, I went through this little phase for like 6, maybe 7 months. At the end of it, I was so much more confident as who I was, and I was so much more comfortable how I was presenting myself and how I was going about being the person that I was going to be. You just got to give kids time to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well,
Like you
puberty
don't have
changes a
to.
lot.
Yeah, puberty does change a lot, like man. And I think a lot of things too, like my kids, some one of my girls hates the period. She absolutely fucking hates it. It's miserable. And I get it. They're shitty. They fucking suck. And so she's always like, I want to be a boy so I don't have a period. And I'm like, mm, sorry, honey, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. And she's like, excuse me. She's like, I'm just going to get rid of it as soon as I can. And I'm like, you do that. You do that. That's the only way you're going to get rid of it is by wait until you're at the right age and then you can go and get rid of it. But
So you so
you
you
were born a girl.
so you don't even believe not only for surgery, because a lot of the transgender community says that, well, all it is puberty blockers to
It's not
stop
only
puberty.
puberty blockers. It's not,
Okay,
but
so
it's not. That's such a big deal in of itself.
blocking puberty.
Yeah, because you're
How does that
repressing.
how does blocking their puberty affect their development? Right? Because like okay, so we talked a little bit about women's healthcare last episode, right? So simply looking at estrogen, okay? If you block a female at a younger age from having natural levels of estrogen, you basically deny her body going through certain mental development, and not only that, but your sexual development, right? And I don't know what all of that sexual development includes, but I'm assuming it has something to do with your reproductive organs and how they continue to develop as you go through puberty and as you get older. But just looking at the mental development. So what are you going to are you going to capsize them essentially because you put them on a mental blocker, so now they're going to have a essentially a mental disability because at 13 you decided to put them on a puberty blocker? How does that impact their mental state and capacity 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? Because you did not allow them to develop fully.
Well, a lot of the detransitioners are trying to,
Speak out about it.
yeah, speak out about it, shed some
Because
light
like
on.
even Chloe Cole, you hear her talk, okay? Because she went through the process is starting at 12. I think she says that she gets put on puberty blockers at the age of 12 and she has a double mastectomy by the time she's 14. And you can hear when she talks she's slightly, she's 21, and she doesn't 100% sound like the average 21-year-old.
Well, that's the biggest argument between hardcore people that think you should transition a kid as young as possible and stop the puberty, use the puberty blockers, because they say, well, if they find out that they're not trans, they could just come off them and be normal. And all the detransitioners, all of them have come out and said, they're like, bitch, this is permanent. Like, once you have them on for a certain amount of time, like a year or two, like, your voice has changed forever. There's no going back. Like,
yeah, like Chloe's talked about how, like, she'll never have breasts.
Yeah.
Ever again. Right? Her chin line, her jawline will forever be the way it is. Her Adam's apple will forever be more predominant than average females. And she's not even 100% sure that she will ever be able to have kids.
Right.
Now, when she was 13, 14, she didn't want kids. She was like, I don't want kids. So it's okay. Because what 13 or 14-year-old is like, I want babies. None of them, right? No 13, 14-year-old is thinking about how many babies they want. And they don't want them right now. So having mature conversations for a 13, 14-year-old that's not mature enough for that conversation, like, that's a no-go in itself, right? You can't ask a 13, 14-year-old, do you want kids? The answer is going to be no. Because right now they don't.
So do you think there should be a law that says if they want to transition, they're allowed to dress, they're allowed to, present, but no medication at all before 18?
Why does there need to be a law about that?
Because you have doctors doing it.
No. Like, why does there need to be a law saying that they can dress however they wanted?
Well, no. The law is saying no medication, no puberty blockers, no, physical or medication alteration.
No surgical or medical alteration.
There we go. No surgical or medical transition if you're under 18. Because
yeah.
So
I could get on board with that. But, like, I grew up as a tomboy. My brother was 5 years older than me. I wore a lot of his hand-me-downs. A lot of them.
Yeah.
So what, because I'm wearing my brother's hand-me-downs, I should be transitioned?
No.
What the fuck does clothes have to do with it? If your son at fucking 8 years old wants to wear tutus and fucking tank tops, let him fucking do it. What the fuck? What does it matter? What does it matter?
Yeah.
What does it matter?
I mean, that's societal problems, because he'll get teased if you send him to school in a tutu.
Oh, that's his own problem, isn't it? Bro, you wanted to wear a tutu to school.
Yeah, he's either going to commit and be like, okay, this is for me, despite getting picked on, or that was a one-time thing, and I'm not doing this ever again.
Yeah, because that's how it used to be back in the day. If you came out as gay, if you went to school and came out gay when I was growing up, oh my God, you were beat up, you were teased, you were called a faggot. You were really, you had to commit. Like, if you came out as gay when I was in high school and you stuck with it, motherfucker, you're gay, because what you had to do. I had
a best friend who was gay, like flamboyant gay, and he would get picked on. And I, at the time, kind of told him that some of it was his fault, because I didn't know better. I didn't know the extent of it. But he would wear like Uggs and, girl t-shirts. And so I was like, you're drawing attention to yourself, like more attention than what, like, I feel is necessary. You say that you don't like the attention, but you're sitting there and you're drawing attention to yourself. Like, what are you expecting? You're in high school. You're surrounded by a bunch of a-holes, like, and it wasn't even high school yet. I think we were still in like grade school, like 8th grade. And so, but like, I remember my 8th grade year, like, had my first love, right? Loved her to pieces. And her and a boyfriend broke up, and I was like, yes, like, her and I can be like fully together, blah, blah, blah. No, she would not come out of the closet. She would not. I have a reputation to uphold, is what she told me. And that was the reason she couldn't come out of the closet. Then we went to school freshman year, and all of a sudden this bitch was out and proud. And I remember getting picked on in middle school for being into girls. Girls were telling our school counselor, like, "Oh, I'm afraid to go to her house because she makes us do things." First of all, bitch, I never made you do anything you didn't want to do. So there's that. And second of all, pretty sure a couple of you said I did it better than your boyfriend. So
So
maybe check
did
yourself.
you? So
It's funny. I gave that line to my oldest the other day. There's a group of girls who went around calling her a lesbian, and I was like, why don't you just play into it? Like, why do you stop getting your feelings hurt? Just play into it. And she's like, what am I supposed to say, Mama B? I was like, oh, I don't know. How about when these girls come and they call you a lesbian and you go, yeah, bet you I'm better than your boyfriend. Want to come take a ride? And she starts laughing hysterically, and I was like, you're not saying anything inappropriate. You're not using the pussy word. You're not saying anything sexual.
I
So
I
what can you get in trouble for?
I think since you came out, you had to get a sharp tongue a lot fast. Straight people, we don't have to get a sharp tongue because we don't have to defend ourselves verbally. You had to defend yourself verbally, so you learned how to have that sharp tongue much earlier than your girls do.
Oh yeah.
Because so when somebody says something to you, you can fire back like that.
Oh
And
yeah.
you don't have to throw a punch, you don't have to swear, you don't have to get mad. You could just say something that's a shot straight to the heart and then just walk
And it's
away.
so funny because one of the girls that's calling her a lesbian is like this good Christian Bible thumper girl. And I was like, oh, I was like, these are the best kind. I was like, you can make her so uncomfortable and not say anything inappropriate.
Right. So so did you like girls before guys? Did you look at a girl sexually before guys? Sonia.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I was like,
You fucking hate dudes other than as a friend. She's the one that she's the seesaw. She's the one that swings both ways.
Sonia and I both are like,
um, I I don't know. I want to say that I knew I was into females before I even noticed guys. Um, really shady story. Kids pay attention to your parents pay attention to your kids' internet. Um, I was talking to somebody online. I don't even remember how we met.
oh, this is like
And
AOL chat days.
yeah. And I'm old enough to know now that it was probably some creepy
50-year-old
pedo on the
man.
other
Yes.
line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but she was sending me like nude photos of her. And I remember being like, fuck. And this was like right after I discovered the shower head, right? And I remember being like,
This is like 13, 14.
um, probably like late 12, early 13.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember being like you get that like feeling and you're like, oh, what is happening right now? And then you realize what's happening and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, all right, cool. So I think I noticed women before I noticed men. And when I noticed men, even then I wasn't like my boyfriends were always my side piece. I always had a girlfriend and she was my main priority. My boyfriends would be like, hey, can I come over later? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. She would text me, be like, hey, can I come over? And I'm like, can't hang out later, dude. Like, I got shit to do, forgot about. Like, she was my main priority always. Um,
Damian, your wife's a lesbian.
no, I
No, she's
promise you,
not.
I'm definitely bi. Um, I, but I also remember like having like female friends over and being like, hold my beer. Let's see how far I can get this. And a lot of them, you're just like, hey, let's play truth or dare. And then I had female friends that later on, like 5, 6 years down the road, we'd run into each other. And I had one girl, she was like, are you still into like that stuff? And I was like, am I still into women? Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to sleep with half of the fucking base the way that you have. So there's that. And women are softer and sexier and more fun, and they smell better. So
They're cleaner. Except for women's bathrooms. Don't go to women's bathrooms.
yeah.
Except me. I mean, I've been told I was gay. I don't know how many times, and it's only because I present myself. Which is sad. I hate that. The fact that since I wash, I'm clean, I'm organized, I'm polite to women. That, like, Sonia's mom constantly says, I won't come out of the closet. And I can assure you, I am not
It's
gay.
mostly a joke,
Damian,
but
this
yeah.
is a very safe space.
Yeah. No, I assure you, I am so not gay. It's not even funny. But I hate the fact that that's
the standard.
The standard. Men are supposed to be gross and disgusting and smelly and, the whole 9 yards. But
okay, I worked in a high school for 2.5 years, and I saw the boys that genuinely tried. It's just teenage boys stink. No matter how hard they try, they just stink.
Tell me about it. I
and they either
and he's disgusting.
Yeah.
They either smell like a Bath and Body Works like cologne place, or they stink, and there's like no in between. Especially after gym class, don't be going in the gym.
Okay, so obviously, if at 12 years old, 12, 13 even, can you be a lesbian? Or can you be gay?
I don't think so. I don't think at 12, 13, I don't think that you're, I don't want to say experienced because that sounds really horrible, but I don't think that you're experienced enough to be one or the other. Anna?
I just don't think it's a priority. Like, why does it fucking matter?
Okay, because we're talking about the LGBTQ community and labels. So,
okay, I'm telling you right now, if my little Spitfire was to walk out here right now and go, "Mom, I'm a lesbian," I'd be like, "No, you're not." But okay, but why does it matter?
Okay, at what age did you put the label on yourself?
Well, freshman year would have been 14, 15, right?
Yeah, that's when I came out saying I was gay.
Okay.
But the way we use things back in my day, and even your day, and Sonia's day, it doesn't qualify us for today of what we would do today, right? Like back when I was going to school, if you were not straight, you were gay. Yeah. It didn't matter if you were bi, it didn't matter if you were bo, it did not matter. If you did not like the opposite gender, you were gay. Yeah. I will 100% say I am gay more than I will say I'm a lesbian. I'm gay.
Oh.
I'm just gay.
Like, fag.
Yeah. Full blown over here, man. Shit. Okay. Like, you think that's a lightsaber over
there? I was hoping it was.
It actually is. It's a Darth Vader replica. But but yeah, like, I don't know. But I figured out I liked girls at a very, very young age. I fell in love with my best friend. Like, boom, dude. I mean, we grew up in diapers together. Her mom and my mom went to school together. Like, her mom took me to swim lessons. I remember my very first swim lesson ever. Her mom took us, and her mom threw me in the fucking pool, and I bawled like a bitch. But I mean, we grew up in diapers together, and we were in school all the way together, all the way up until I finally got out of a private school and went to a public school. Like, and I think that was 7th grade. So we were together from birth till almost 7th grade. And I remember being fucking head over heels for her. God, I loved her. Man, she was gorgeous. She was beautiful. Yeah. She was funny. She was cute.
Could have spit in your face and you still would have been like...
She had these dimples on both sides of her face. Like, bro, yeah, like, I mean, bro, she could have rubbed my face in the dirt and I'd have been like, do it again. I love you. Like, I loved her. Yeah. I kissed her on the cheek in like 3rd or 4th grade, something like that. And that's when I knew. All the girls were talking about all the boys that they liked, right? All the boys in our hometown that were really cute and they liked and blah 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 blah, which all turned out to be douchebags later in life. But they were all talking about these boys that they liked, and I never talked about boys. I'm just sitting in my head going, God, she's so beautiful. God, I fucking love her.
So did you think it was did you think it was weird that you're like, I don't like guys?
No. Mm-mm.
You were completely okay with not
Yeah, I
liking
like
them.
never questioned it. I never questioned that I was attracted to a girl. Like never.
So did
Like
you,
never
Sonia?
have I ever felt weird or not normal or not okay. But at third,
So
fifth grade, I didn't know what the fuck that was.
so were you embarrassed when you were like, I kind of like girls better than guys? Were you embarrassed? Like when that realization came to you, were you embarrassed or would you like?
Um, I don't think that I was even really aware that I liked girls more than guys. I think I was just at a point where I didn't trust men. Um,
Ooh, that's a good transition. I gotta keep going.
I
Gotta remember that.
I just didn't trust men, and so for me, girls were like the natural thing, and I didn't think anything of it until, sorry, mom. Um, I didn't realize it until, I had friends that would come talk to me and they're like, my mom told me I'm going to hell. And I remember like asking my mom about my gay guy friend. And I was like, his mom said this, like, do you agree with her? And she's like, well, yeah. And at the time she was like super religious and, whatever. And I remember thinking like, holy shit, like that's some serious stuff. Like my mom genuinely thinks I'm going to hell.
See, I
So
never had that. I never had that interaction. I never had that interaction with my and she didn't say I was going to hell. She just told me to go read the
But your
Bible,
mom
and that
wasn't
was when I came
religious
out.
either.
No, my mom was.
Oh, okay.
When I
she's
was little,
she told her
I
to
was
read
in
the
the
Bible.
dress and the little shoes and everything, and we were going to church every fucking Sunday.
Okay.
I still want to see you in a dress, Hannah.
I'd
Good
pay to see
luck.
that, I think.
Good luck.
There's a price that can be paid.
You better start saving your dough.
I'll make sure I ask you just before payday when you're like the brokest, and $20 is $20.
Like I tell you, right, it ain't gonna be no $20.
But
I don't give a
okay,
shit how broke I am.
so how many lesbians do you think they're lesbians because they don't trust guys?
Um,
There's a
I
lot of
don't,
those.
yeah, but I don't think it's like for me personally, like, I don't think it's a 50-50 split. Like, I don't think that, like, I definitely think that people's pasts shape them to a point. Um, but I think I probably would have always ended up into women in one way, shape, or form at some point in my life. Like, I would have figured it out.
So
Like, I
you
get
don't think?
drunk and make out with the cutest girl I can find. Like,
Yeah. So you don't think that a series of bad men can turn somebody gay?
I didn't say that. I think it depends on the woman. Like, I genuinely think that it depends. So, like, I had a friend, right? She's dead now. She overdosed, but her grandfather like raped her for like 4 or 5 years, and she didn't go the lesbian route. She just screwed everything that she could find. Every single guy that would bet her, she did, and then she got married and settled down, still ended up screwing half of the base, getting in trouble for having drugs and sex parties, and then she ended
Hell
up
yeah,
overdosing. Like,
that's a party. I don't know. I think it just depends. Like, I mean, back in my single days, um, man, I used to get on Tinder, okay, and I'd be swiping right on everything, and I'd match with some girls, and they would, I'd be trying to link up with them, and they, they're. I've always, anytime I was on Tinder, I was always like, "What are you looking for?" Because there's some people that get on Tinder and they're like, "Oh, I'm looking for like a relationship, something legit," and I'd be like, "Well, sorry, I'm here for 2 weeks. I'm not looking for that."
yeah.
Just saying. But I got on there one time. I met a lady. She was older. I was in my mid to late 20s before I got out of the military. And I met this lady, and didn't want she didn't want men anymore. She wanted to find a woman that could be a companion with her, like be her best friend, right? Essentially, that they live together, they do everything like a couple. And if it turns into being a romantic sexual relationship, then it does. So, I mean, you run into all kinds of things. Like you run into women who get treated very poorly by men, or they, whether it be rape, sexual assault, or whatever, beatings, you name it, and they just don't want to be with men anymore. They just don't want to deal with it. And they want a woman companion. There's nothing sexual, it's completely platonic, but they want a woman companion that they do everything with, that they live with. They're a family, but they're not having anything romantic in between them. And you find some that genuinely just want to fuck with women,
Yeah. No, I
you
get
know?
it.
So, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like if a boyfriend beats the freaking bricks off of you, dude, and you're all of a sudden you want to say that you're only gonna date women and you want to call yourself a lesbian, cool, by all means, call yourself a lesbian. More power to you.
I don't know if lesbian would be the right word because there's a defining definition for the word lesbian.
Oh my God, here we go.
I'm not gonna just willy-nilly all say it.
I don't think that first of all, I don't think that there's a defining anything for gay or straight. Just because I think, no, because you can be like a complete and total pillow princess and
Then you're not a lesbian.
okay, but you can be a complete pillow princess and you're straight.
Huh? You can't be a pillow princess and straight.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
It's called a dead fish.
But it's still going
Doesn't
in
matter.
you. You're still doing
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
something.
and lesbians
Doesn't matter.
use strap-ons, they use fingers, they use all of
Okay.
that.
Okay, my definition to be 100% a lesbian, since you guys are going to
There we
make
go.
me say it.
There we go.
Yes, I want the white straight man to say it.
If you don't eat dessert, no. Much like, yeah, if you're always the
Okay, so
from
question then. If that's the defining factor, if the woman doesn't eat the hot dogs, is she straight?
no, okay, this goes back to my original thing that's not sex. That brings up the word foreplay. As long as she accepts the hot dog inside.
Okay, but lesbian couples use artificial hot dogs.
I'm
There's
not talking
still penetration.
Okay, I'm not talking about penetration because you can't. I mean, for lesbians, you got to be able to eat the dessert if you're going to be a lesbian.
Okay, but
Sorry.
there's straight women that don't suck on the lollipop.
But
Yeah.
they have sex.
So? I know plenty of women who have had sex and they were not straight.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. What y'all
Just
do
saying,
is not sex.
there's
What
also
you do is
plenty,
not sex.
there's also plenty of men in the world who have been married to wives, had sex, had kids, and they're not fucking straight.
Okay, yeah, but they're faking it. You do not have sex. In order to have sex, you have to have an appendage and not an appendage. I mean, YouTube's never going to allow this fucking video anyways. We're not going to get any views because there's no way to say this. Sex is between a man and a woman.
All right.
That's the definition.
disagree.
No. The scientific definition of sex. Oh my God, I'm going to have to look it up. See, and even Google says there's multiple definitions. No, there isn't.
Well, because
Biological classification, male and female, based on factors like reproductive anatomy.
you have to say
chromosomes.
intercourse. specifically
Ooh.
intercourse.
Yeah, I do.
Because
Yeah,
there's multiple versions of sex. There's oral
sex or
sex. There's vaginal.
definition of
There's
intercourse. Wow. Communication or dealing between individuals or a group.
okay. So here's a question for you then, Damian. The women that are raped by impotent men, they rape them with other tools.
Ooh, sexual assault? I don't know.
They're not
Because
technically having sex by your definition,
fucking loophole.
but those women are still being raped. By definition, those women are still raped.
Fuck.
You
So,
lose.
I had a great analogy.
definition, real quick for you.
Did you find it?
This definition is what is classified as sexual intercourse.
Oh, there we go. That's what I should have put.
Okay. Sexual intercourse is a sexual act that typically involves the penetration of one person's sex organ or anus by another's sex organ, penis, and or an object.
Does it actually say object? Hold on.
Yes, I just read it to you.
So I know that we're like joking and stuff about this, but like seriously, Damien, though, by like your definition, rape victims are not raped.
Hold on. So if I look up Google, I just looked up Google. It has a little bit different definition of you. Sexual contact between an individual involving penetration, especially the insertion of a man's erect, and erect is underlined, penis into a woman's vagina, typically culminating in an orgasm or the ejaculation of semen. That is the definition, according to Google, of sexual intercourse. So, according to that definition,
it still says penetration.
Penetration of a man's erect penis. So, according to
you
Google,
said penetration, especially.
No, it says especially the insertion of a man's erect penis.
Merriam-Webster's definition. Sexual intercourse is defined as physical sexual contact between individuals involving the genitalia of at least one person. That comes from Webster.
I love you, honey, but I think you lost this. I think you're
This is like when this is very similar as to our episode that we lost, and I had to pull up the Webster's dictionary because what the world views what the world views the definition as is not same as what the actual definition is. So your definition may be your definition, but it's not the technical.
I like Google's definition. I'm going with Google.
Because it caters to you and your thought process.
Yes,
if I was on that case, I could go use Urban Dictionary. And what does Urban Dictionary say that sexual intercourse is?
Google
it probably say so many different things.
I'm going with Google because it aligns with my ideology, which is weird. Okay. Yeah, which is weird because Google never agrees with me.
No, but seriously though, like your definition of sex means that there is a penis in a vagina. So what about rape victims?
I'm still working that one through. It's going to take a minute to figure that one out. That was a loophole that was out of the left field. I wasn't sure about that one.
It wasn't out of left field.
Yes, it was.
You're just mad that I caught you off guard and I found a loophole to your nonsense.
Don't like it. I'm going to live in my bubble.
Okay, what about men that rape other men that use other things because they, I don't know, got the football team?
If your definition of sex is specifically a male and female, and it deals with the vaginal canal, a man cannot rape another man because a man doesn't have a vaginal canal.
But he has a hole.
You lose.
You said a vagina.
Motherfucker. We'll get back to this one once I think about it some more.
He's just mad he lost.
I don't fucking like this. Anyways.
You lose, we win. 2v1.
No. I'm not done. I'm not laying down yet. I'll get it.
You don't have to.
Okay, so back to our transgender ideology bullshit. Do we think trans I don't want to say trans ideology, but do we think gender or sexual orientation ideology should be taught in schools?
No,
Oh.
absolutely not.
God, no.
Mm.
I think there's enough confusion on our kids in today's world to confuse them that I think teaching it in school would just confuse them more.
And we're
Because
talking
there's
specifically K through 12, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you go into college, that's a completely different.
Yeah, that's a completely different world.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure
yeah.
because, we're going to put, I'm sure we're going to put a blip of this on TikTok and somebody's going to be like, I'm in college for blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So I think schools need to stick with math, science, social studies, the basic. Now, I wish they would add in, I don't know if it would be called life skills, like how to balance a checkbook, how to change a fucking light bulb, how to
Okay, first of all,
stuff like that.
your age is starting to show because ain't nobody got no checkbooks no more.
Bullshit.
that.
We have a checkbook. It's just
Yeah, but it's
digital
not like
now.
an actual right, but it's not like an actual checkbook. Like
it's how to balance between your bank statement and what you have since things don't clear.
okay, well, Hannah, I love you.
I have a checkbook.
We have one, but it's digital. It's on our phones. So
My bank asked me if I wanted a checkbook.
I have a paper. I have a paper checkbook.
Yeah, no.
Dear Lord.
I still have to write checks.
Anyway, there's
Amber,
so much confusion.
My wife just the other day told me that she's written one check in her entire life, and I was like, "Fucking what?"
Yeah,
Bro.
I don't think I've ever written a check.
Oh
in
my
my
God,
life.
I've written checks. I've bounced checks.
I'm still currently writing checks in 2025.
Anyway,
dear Lord.
I don't think
no.
that there's enough. I think that there's enough social pressure already, like social media pressure already on kids to define themselves. And if you have a moment where, because I feel like that's our entire society now, like all of our kids have to label themselves. Because if you're not some sort of label, you're not cool, or you're not in the know, or you're not whatever. And I remember when I was working in the high school, I was like, hey guys. And like for me, dude, y'all, guys, like that's just a
general term.
universal. Yeah, exactly. And I remember like one of the girls flipped around and was like, excuse you. I don't identify as that. I identify as whatever it was. And I was like, okay, cool. You didn't have to be a dick about it. You could have just simply said, excuse me, Miss Security, and then corrected me that way. You didn't have to be so rude about it. How am I supposed to know? And I think at this point, I think it's gotten so out of hand that like the last year I was in school, you had the I don't want to call them furries because it's so gross, but you had like the little furries that would wear like their ears and their noses and whatever. And then you had, the queer kids, and then and it was very, very clicky, and it was very, everybody had a label. You were an athlete, you were a nerd, you were a band kid, you were this, you were that. And everything now, I feel like in schools revolves around labels. So I feel like the transition or the transgender population is getting bigger because the kids that don't know where to fit, it's easier to fit into being the
label.
opposite gender.
For all the people out there that allow their kids to be furries, that should be illegal. That's child abuse. I'm sorry, your 14, 15-year-old daughter or son is not a dog.
My niece in New Jersey, she went to school with a kid who claimed he was like a cat or something.
No, that should be illegal.
Jersey law forced them to put a litter box in the classroom.
Nope, done.
And I'm telling you right now that if my child witnessed another child using a litter box as a restroom, I would yank my kid so fast.
Yeah, dude, my kids would be on online school so quick.
Yep. That is the problem that these are 80-20 issues. 80% of the public agrees this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And only,
I agree with that.
And the loudest 10-20% is getting all the attention.
Because they're the loudest.
Do you think this is as big as a problem as the news and social media make out?
Oh no, absolutely not. I think the news circulates the same, like 2 or 3 stories, but I believe that same thing with like, okay, completely super off random, but I believe the same thing with like the school shootings. People think that it's an epidemic in the United States because they circle the same, 3 or 4. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't like um like random influxes, right? But there's I don't think it's as big of a deal as people, or as common, I guess I should say, as what people think. And it's because the news is trying to sway everybody in one way or the other that they're like, oh, okay, we can take the title from like last week's, you know, transgender whatever to bring it back around, and all we have to do is just change a couple of words. But now you're starting to see sports teams specifically that are fighting back. You had Riley Gaines, who finally got her medal after she earned that thing fair and square. She beat Leah Thomas, whatever his name is, by, I think it was like 0.2 seconds or something. And because she was against Leah Thomas and that was the transgender, then Leah Thomas got the medal and she didn't. You have the I think it was like 102, like
Isn't Riley Gaines one of those two?
no, Riley Gaines is completely female,
No, no, no,
biologically
no, no. Yeah,
female.
yeah, yeah. But didn't she lost out on something too, right? Because I've
That's what I
seen
was
her
just
in the
talking about.
news.
So she went against a transgender named Leah Thomas.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So you're talking about the girl that went against her was Riley Gaines.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'm tracking.
And that was the other thing too, is like, I feel like as a transgender, if you're going to put a transgender male to female specifically, because in this situation it was, you have to disclose that to your team of like, hey, how would you feel about this? Because Leah Thomas walked into the locker room like nothing was going on and started changing. And so you had I think she was like a college team or something, changing with a biological man in a female only locker room. And that day they had everything. I think she said everything from like preteen to like varsity level, like swim teams. And nobody knew that Leah Thomas was coming in. I feel like that's something you should have to disclose.
Did Leah Thomas have bottom surgery?
Nope.
That's not okay.
Penis.
I agree.
Like boom, penis.
You know, I don't agree. I don't
I
agree.
was
I don't agree. If you want to be trans, cool, by all fucking means, bro. You want to come into my bathroom? You want to come into my locker room? You better have a vagina.
Yep.
Because I don't give a shit what you're wearing. I don't give a shit what you identify as. I don't give a fuck. If you whip out a dick, get the fuck out.
So I was
Get the
about
fuck
to
out.
I was actually about to transition into this, and that Sonia did it for me. About transgenders in sports.
I think they should have their own sports category.
Same.
Yeah, yeah. If there's so many of them, and this is such a big deal,
Yep.
then yeah, just have a new sports. I think what we find out really quick is there's not enough of them to have, and
Well,
nobody would watch them anyways. It's like the WNBA.
so this is the catcher of all of that, is Leah Thomas, when he was a man, was coming in second to last every single time, no matter what. Came like 415th or something, some crazy high number,
Yeah,
right?
I remember hearing about that, yeah.
Transitioned and immediately was in the top 2. Because I don't give a shit who you are. Men are naturally stronger than women. And the fact that these men are like, oh, well, I'm sick of losing. So they get to just transition. Oh, because you grew out your hair. Leah Thomas did not have facial surgery. And Damian, if you would look it up for me just to double check. But Leah Thomas did not have facial surgery, had no bottom surgery, but his hair was shoulder length.
Do they
Congratulations,
have
that
top
doesn't make you
surgery?
a woman.
Do they have top surgery?
Mm-mm.
Bro, you're a man. You're a man with long hair.
Yep.
That's outrageous.
And they let him go into a female-only locker room and change. And the NAACP said that because he identified as a woman, he was legally allowed to use the women's
No,
restroom.
this is so fucking mind blowing. Like what? Oh my God, dude. Like
Yep.
take the rose colored glasses off, bro. Like this is not no, this is not a fucking thing, dude. You have a penis. You have a penis. You
Yeah.
cannot.
Yeah.
This is like all the gyms that are like you know, who was it? It was Planet Fitness first. Planet Fitness banned a member because she took a photo of a dude in the women's locker room, and the policy is there's no phones. You can't use your phones in the locker room. And instead of getting rid of the guy that was in the fucking locker room with this older woman and her daughter, they got rid of this woman and banned her and discontinued her membership because she used her phone in the women's locker room, which is against policy. Bro, you have a bigger problem. You have a dude in the fucking locker room, and my
Yeah.
14, 15 year
Exactly.
old daughter is in there with him. Like, that's disgusting.
Exactly.
And there's more and more of this popping up where like women are coming out about these dudes that are coming into their locker. Like, bro, I'm sorry.
Yep.
If a dude walked into my locker room and I have one of my daughters with me, bro, get the fuck out. Get the fuck up out of here.
See, and for me, it's above that. If I'm in a locker room by myself and a guy walks in and starts changing, I'm gonna get real uncomfortable real fucking quick, and I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. Right, you'd be
I don't
lucky
want
if
to
I don't
see
fucking pull
your
a gun on
naked
your ass.
body. I don't even want to see like other females' naked bodies most of the time. Like, why would I want to look at yours? Also,
Oh,
there's a locker room literally right across.
okay. Let's see if I can do this so you guys can see. Do. Share screen. Let
I'm assuming
me.
this is about Leah Thomas.
Yep. Share. That's Leah Thomas. That's a female, according to the transgender community. No surgery whatsoever.
None.
Just,
Bro, look at those shoulders.
yep. Just, I'm a female.
Yep.
Go to the top left one. Go over one. Go
That
over
one?
one. Over
Nope.
one.
Next one over.
Bro, that's a man.
He swam with the females
As a female.
as a female.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that neck alone, like that's a thick
But
ass
okay,
neck.
but if you go to that first photo that you clicked on, Damian, go up. Nope.
Or this
Yeah,
one.
that one. Look at those shoulders. Women don't have shoulder definition like that. Bicep definition like that.
Bro,
When you
just look at the width of the shoulders alone.
Yeah. That is a man. And I know that that's going to piss people off. I know that. And I get it. Like, I hear you. But
oh, here's
he
a
was
good
sick of
picture.
losing.
That's
Yeah. He was sick of losing. And so he decided he was going to be a woman for 5 seconds and beat the other females. And he still lost. He still came in second. And the only reason that he got a medal was because, yep, click that one with Riley. Yep. The only reason he got a medal was because he was transgender. And because the NAACP claimed that Riley and him tied, even though, like, she beat him by, like, 0.2 seconds or something.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. If there's so many of you, y'all need your own sports category.
Yep.
I don't know. This goes into so much. Like, the transgender thing is just like it was on the Olympic level last year, wasn't it? With that boxer from France? Israel?
I don't know.
Where was
I
that
don't
boxer
remember.
from? I think it was last year's Olympics, maybe it was the year before. But yeah, there was some boxer. Fuck, where are they from? I forget where the fuck they were. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick. Hold on.
but I mean, no matter how you shake it, it's stuff like this that has pushed the LGB community to say we
To
don't
want
want
the
any
separation.
because like when I was growing up, like I grew up in the 80s and 90s. The gay pride parades, the whole 9 yards, it was a big deal. And the LGB community was making huge headwinds. And then when gay marriage became legal, I think the gay community was at its pinnacle. Like everybody accepted you. Yes, you had a couple, you had
Yeah, of
pockets
course
of,
you had the religious people.
yeah,
And
you had the pockets
yeah,
of bigots and fucking
yeah,
homophobic people, but you're always going to have that. You're not going to have a utopia. We're humans. There's going to be shitty humans out there.
yep, absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, now the LGBTQ community is on a downhill slide. Like,
Okay,
and it's
so
getting wrapped in, and the gay and lesbians are getting wrapped in with, well, you're just fucking crazy and you want to transition kids.
perfect question. You mentioned the parades. Do we agree with kids going to those parades?
Okay, now I do not. Now there
But
are
you did
some,
then.
back then you didn't have a full grown man dressed in a fucking banana hammock imitating sex with his boyfriend on a fucking float.
No, but correct me if
No.
I'm wrong. You still had half naked men.
But okay, so the old school gays,
Mhm.
there's a whole bunch of them on TikTok, on Facebook, and they will look at you straight up and say, this parade is not child friendly. They will
Even back
honestly
then.
back then, if I remember, so it wasn't even that long ago. We're talking the 90s. Me and some friends went to a drag show,
I would
and
love to go see one, by the way.
like it was interesting. It was two of my gay friends. They wanted to drag me to a drag show, so I went and watched. I didn't care. It doesn't offend me. It doesn't affect me in any way. So I thought it was a good show. Hey, whatever. But most transgender, transsexuals, whatever you want to work, if a 12-year-old walked into that show, they would every gay person, every drag queen, everybody would stop the show instantly and say, get this child out of here. This is not for them. Gay people would, like, they'd police themselves. Like,
Okay.
they'd be like, no, get this fucking child out of here. This is not for children. And then they would have parades. And yeah, they did dress a little bit better back in the 80s and 90s.
Okay, so I stand by
Nowadays,
my question. Did you agree with kids going to the gay parades, the pride parades, excuse me, back in like the 80s and the 90s?
I didn't really think about it because I did not get introduced to. So this is going to be a really hard story, but I did not get introduced to gay people until I was 19 years old, and I was raped. So I was in the military, and Sergeant Wong at McCord, Washington, gave me alcohol and then dosed me with something, and that's how I got introduced. So after that happened, I was very homophobic. I fucking hated gay people. I would call them the F
Every
word
name under the sun.
with the hard T, not fag. I would use the hard word, hard T. I did not like them at all, but it's because my introduction to the LGB world was a gay man raping me. That was my introduction. So after that, I was like, fuck you all. Y'all need to die. Fast forward to Korea. I was in Korea and we had two gay guys in Korea. And this was during the don't ask, don't tell in the military.
Okay, hold on, pause, please. So just so that there's a timeline. So you were 19, hated
I was 19.
everything about it.
Yeah.
And then you were how old in Korea?
23, 22, 23.
Okay, so we're talking like minimum 3 years later.
Yeah, 3 years later,
Okay.
ran into two gay guys in the military. They were working at the PAX terminal that I worked at, and they were probably two of the really. I didn't know they were gay. Of course, it was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, so they hit it really well.
Well, you had to, right?
Yeah, you had to back then. And one of them finally came out to me, and we were up in the dorms, and he said it, and I flipped my shit. Like, you fucking fag. Like, I was pissed. I was like, I can't believe you brought me in here. But that was because of what happened to me.
Mm.
And instead of getting defensive, instead of getting mad, and instead of doing what they do now, he sat there and talked to me, and he was the very first person that I ever told about that. Like, up until that point, I kept that a secret. I didn't tell fucking anybody. And he's the one that looked at me and said, "So have you ever been beat up by a black person?" I was like, "Well, no, I've never been beat up, but I have been like insulted and teased and stuff by a black person. Do you hate all black people?" I was like, "Well, no, I have a lot of black friends. I've dated black girls in school. Like, I don't care." He's like, "Why are you doing it with the gay community then?
Oof.
Do you think we're all rapists?" I was like, and it was kind of
A light bulb
it was
moment.
like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, fuck, I've been a hypocrite. And me and him and his friend, who they weren't gay together, they were just two separate gay guys, ended up becoming probably the best friends in Korea. Like, I hung out with them all the time. And they, through patience and understanding, they changed my view to what it is now. But it took two people that were very, very, very patient and understanding, and was able to get past the slurs to find out what was behind, like, why are you like this? And then when they found out why I was like this, they were able to walk me through, okay, not all of us are like that, you know. Unfortunately, one of them got kicked out of the Air Force for being gay. It was a shitty situation. He ended up, a straight guy, him and a straight guy were drunk, and apparently the straight guy was like doing things that he was really embarrassed about. And he was like, "Well, if you know, we're both drunk, if you want to do something." And come to find out that when it comes to straight guys, the whole pasta theory does not work. It does not work at all, the whole pasta theory. So the next day, the straight guy went to the command and said he raped me. And we all know he didn't. We all knew him. He was the nicest guy in the world. Basically, the straight guy did some shit that he's embarrassed about now, and it was about to come out. So he just said he got raped. It was easier than saying he enjoyed it.
What really happened? Yeah.
What really happened. So he got the short end of the stick. None of us liked seeing him get kicked out. He was a really, really good guy, and he was a good friend of mine. And I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he is now, but he was a solid guy, and I appreciated him a lot. He's also the one that took me to the drag show. So, but
So I remember my first Pride. It was in Las Vegas. It was 2010, 2009, 2010, somewhere around
were there half naked people?
there. Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
I
there
don't-
was dudes walking around in, like Speedos. There were girls walking around in very skimpish clothing. Actually hooked up with a very much older woman who was walking around in chaps and just chaps and a leather vest with nothing underneath it. She had no underwear on, she had no nothing. She was just walking around in chaps
Good for
and
her.
a leather vest. She showed me her double pierced nipples too.
And
when I say much older, I mean much older.
I appreciate
Like, like
I appreciate you not saying assless chaps. I appreciate that.
All chaps are assless.
All
Wait,
fucking chaps
stop.
are assless.
Wait, let's go back to this double pierced nipples thing really quick.
Yeah. So she had one going this way, and then she had one going this way. They were double pierced.
She had the cross.
Yeah, they were double pierced. Yeah.
Oh my
And she was in
God.
like her 50s, 60s. She was a
Good for her.
looking older woman. Yeah, she was rocking it.
Good for her.
But yeah, I mean, there were dudes walking around in like tube socks that were all the way up to their knees and little Speedos. And I mean, they were good looking guys. Like, they were buff. They had the six packs. They had really big pecs and stuff. There were women walking around in bikinis and high heels.
Would you take your kids to one?
In Las Vegas, probably not. No, Las Vegas is pretty
Wild.
Yeah, it's definitely not child.
Vegas.
It's definitely not like child friendly. Like, even when I went, they're not super child friendly. Like,
I mean, most
so
now
you would
granted,
not.
I didn't.
So you both would not agree with kids going to these.
No.
Now they've gotten a little better depending on the city that you're in, right?
Okay.
They've gotten a little bit. Vegas? No, absolutely not. Vegas, like if you're gonna take your children, your children need to be adults because, like I said, there's men walking around with nothing but tube tops and speedos. Like,
Yeah.
now
And
granted,
that's
they're all
not-
gay. They're all gay. It's a bunch
That's
of
not
gay
even
guys.
that's not even during Pride Parade. You go
You know.
downtown and
Yeah, you go to the strip, and that's what you're gonna see.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then you've got girls around in bikinis and very limited bikinis. There was a girl that was walking around with pasties.
Yeah, that's just Vegas in general.
Yeah, but that's just Vegas in general,
Yeah.
right? Like you go to the strip, you're going to see the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but like you didn't see people acting out sex. Like that
Yeah.
was not a thing. I didn't see people actually having sex anywhere. Now, like if you went into the bathrooms,
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
yeah, I walked into the bathroom at one point and the handicap stall that was like, the size of 4 stalls had 6 set of feet in there. So
Holy hell. Okay,
you
so
walk into
do
the
we
bathrooms, it's a little different.
Well, it would have been weird if it was 5.
do
But I thought Pride was awesome when I went. It was so cool, man. Like there were private company vendors there that were selling bras made by lesbians, right? And they weren't big name brand stuff. It was just a group of lesbians that got together and designed bras that lesbian women would like. There was lesbian vendors that were selling underwear for lesbians, the boxers with no pee holes, which now is all over the place. There's Boxer, there's Tomboy, there's a bunch of others.
Really?
Yeah, there was
Didn't know.
companies organized and made by gay guys that were selling stuff for gay guys. Now you did have like an 18 plus section that opened up later at night that introduced, like they had they would sell sex toys and sex accessories, and they would do demonstrations of how to use some stuff. Now there was nothing going into people's orifices by no means, right? But like, they had an area that was BDSM aimed, and this was years later when I went again as an adult. And after 9 o'clock, they specifically tell you, like after 9 o'clock, like you don't want your children here anymore at
See,
all, unless they're adults.
I mean,
I can get
they're
with
gonna
that.
they're gonna deny this, but there's literally dozens of pictures online that you can find, like little kids, 6, 7, 8 little kids,
Yeah.
and there's like a guy with a big dildo and all he has on is a banana hammock walking by the kids shaking. Like,
Yeah.
the gay community needs to police themselves, and other gay people need to be like, you get the fuck over here, come here.
Which they're starting to slowly police each other. But I
Yeah,
don't
now if
think
I
that
went to
there's
a
enough
Pride,
speaking out.
if I went to a Pride and I saw, people willingly carrying around these huge blow up dildos or blow up penises or whatever, and then there was a family that walked in and they've got little kids, I'd be like, yeah, this is not the place for you. This isn't the place for you. I'm sorry. Like, no, I don't want to step on your toes and parent for you, but this is not the place
Yeah.
for your kids.
Maybe
You've got half naked women walking around. You've got dudes with basically everything but their dick and balls hanging out. Like,
yeah.
they're not hiding it very much.
So I want to, maybe you could answer this, or somebody in the comments. Why does gay pride have to be BDSM? Why, what? I mean, you could have floats, you can have gay pride without all the BDSM. There's no need for that. Like, why does it have to be so vulgar? Why can't it be a pride parade, but Disney inspired, basically? Like, why can't it, why in order to prove that you're gay and you're proud, that you have to walk around in a Speedo with a dildo air fucking, your best friend?
Okay,
Like,
but
why
I
does
think
it
the
have to
same
be that?
question applies to why does Hollywood always show gay bars as men clad in leather?
That's old school. And the last time I saw that was American Pie. And they used it as a joke. And no offense, there are some gay bars that are like that.
Okay,
they're
but there's some.
It's you see a little bit of a depiction of it in Grace and Frankie, which is a newer show.
Oh, do you? Is it now? There are gay bars like that. There are
But
special
there's
gay bars like that. But
gay
yes,
bars that aren't. But why is that always the way that Hollywood goes?
because Hollywood is a cesspool, and they've always portrayed, handguns always hit on the first shot. Gay people are always BDSM. Women are always stronger than men. Like, we can't use Hollywood as Hollywood is the cesspool. But
I think so. I think you just have to look at it as like gay is still viewed as like taboo, right? Like even still today, it is slightly taboo.
I don't think so.
What else is taboo?
I disagree
BDSM.
with you. Yeah, but
And there's a lot of stuff in the gay community that's really there's a lot of people in the gay community that are really big into BDSM. I mean, it was all over. You watch the L Word. The prides that they go to, there's a special BDSM room. Like I don't
The
know
L
why
Word's a movie,
BDSM
babe.
I don't know why BDSM is very closely aligned with the gay community, but it is, and it has been for a very long time. Like
Do you
leather. Just
think
because they're
that
into leather doesn't mean they're into BDSM, but they just like leather. But
do you think
so it is just
that
a
it's
thing.
because they're like that's their like they get I don't want to say that they get picked on and bullied and that's why they do it, but do you think that that's like a contributing factor, like the fact that they get ridiculed and then they get, you know, picked on and they get like beat up and they get, whatever. So it's the one thing that they have control over. So BDSM makes them feel more, in control.
I don't know. I mean, I like it. Like the most recent Pride that I went to in Las Vegas was right after COVID and everything started opening up again. And we went late. They do a concert at the Las Vegas Pride every year. Um, and so it's like after 9 o'clock, and the BDSM area is open and the Pride area is pretty much shut down for 18 and older. And we went to the little BDSM area, and I mean, it was so cool. It was so cool. Like, it doesn't make you feel like weirder. Oh my God, at all. Like, like they show you like different materials, like, oh, if you're into leather, here's all these examples of different leathers that they sell. Because a lot of it is just that they're trying to sell stuff, right? It's just vendors.
Yeah.
But so and they'll show you like 50 different types of leather that you could buy, right? Or if you're into rope, they'll show you like hemp rope and nylon ropes and old school ropes, and they'll tell you, hey, hemp rope is good for this and nylon rope is good for this, but it pulls or it gets loose and it stretches a little bit, or, old classical rope is kind of rough and whatever. And then you go in a little farther and they'll show you different types of floggers. They'll show you different type of feathering materials, like they show you all kinds of stuff and they let you like play around with it and do stuff with it. So it's almost like they're trying to make the taboo less of a taboo
so
in a way.
actually, you both are somewhat right. So if you look it up, something as simple as why is BDSM associated with gay men so much? BDSM is associated with gay men due to the historical rise of gay leather subculture. During the 1940s, the community experienced with being an outcast group and the practice of BDSM as a tool for self-exploration and healing.
Yeah,
So
you
they
look at the lesbian community has the same thing. We have bikes on dykes or dykes on bikes.
dykes on bikes. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm a
and they
huge
all wear leather.
I'm a huge biker. I've been riding since I was 13, and I've ran into them, and they are the coolest bunch of fucking girls in the world.
Hmm.
They are badass, and they're fun to ride with, and I mean they're yeah, it dykes, and they're actually accepted in the biker community very well. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they have their problems, but for the most part, the biker community accepts them.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all kinds of different things, right? Like, I'm not saying that BDSM is here nor there or
Well,
good or bad or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I thought it was cool. Like, I liked it.
okay,
It was a good time. They had a little vendor trailer pulled up
sounds
of
great.
a local company that makes
Okay,
you know, all these like
see you tomorrow.
stainless steel
Thank
different
you.
types of toys that you can
Okay, we'll
buy. I
both.
mean, God, it
Yeah,
was
my
so
wife
cool.
will
Yeah,
be
they
here,
had
but I'm working.
everything.
But okay, thank
Everything
you.
you could think of, they had it.
Bye. Good night.
I must have been our landscaper finally.
Okay, I'm going to be like the rich white dude that was, yes,
Landscapers are coming
Our
tomorrow.
Mexican landscapers
Why do
are
you have to
coming
say
tomorrow
that? You could have just said our landscapers, bruh.
because they're Mexicans. His name is literally Julio. Alfredo, sorry, Alfredo something. It's like a long name. But yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. But you too probably, Damien. You probably would have liked the little vendor trailer that was in the BDSM area.
Like I mean, that lifestyle doesn't bother me at all. Like I mean, I just don't know why during the Pride Parade it has to be. I would almost accept have the normal parade. Like I have no problem with the Pride Parade, and I think it should still go on. I have no problem with it at all. But when you get the permit, when you have to apply to the city to get the permit, I don't know if this is true, but there should be two separate permits or a timeline saying, okay, you have a normal permit, which means everybody has to be fully dressed. It's got to be a kid friendly Pride Parade. And at 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night or whatever time you decide,
Or
if
like
you,
9.
if you want to do um, something like an extreme Pride Parade or whatever you want to call it, I don't care. There has to be a certain thing that says, okay, anybody under the age of 18, you got to go. Yeah, this is not for you. This is, and we have a ton of that now. We have clubs that you can't go in unless you're 18 or 21. I mean, I've been to clubs where it's 21 and over, and that's just the way it is. And there's no alcohol there. It's just there's some weird shit that goes on here, so we're not allowing kids. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but like there should be a pride parade that is family friendly, and some of them are. I don't want any of the gay community coming after me saying we have family friend. I know I've seen them. There are family friendly ones, but you also have to accept the fact that there's a lot of them that are not family friendly that kids are at, and they shouldn't be. No kid should see some of that. Once again, it just confuses you. You
think that it's up to parents to decide?
Oh, on this one, no. This should be a law. End of discussion.
Wow.
Because if I go to a swingers club, I could not bring if I had a 16-year-old son, I couldn't bring him with me. I mean, I'm the parent. I'm saying he can go.
But a club is different than a parade.
But I think the parade should be treated like that because at certain times, like you just said, there's dildos, there's whips, there's chains, there's
right. But that area was specifically 18 and up. Like they have a thing. They have somebody checking your IDs. Like
right. So the ones that are going down the street in public at 1 o'clock or 1300, you shouldn't be seeing that because you have kids walking around.
Okay, so hold on, because you're stuck on the kids walking around part. What's the difference between that and taking them to a beach where a guy's wearing only a Speedo or a woman that's wearing only pasties and a thong bikini bottom? There's no difference.
Or what about so like Texas has a thing out here that's called like Topless Weekend or something or whatever, and people take their teenager children to it.
Yeah, and
there's like half naked women walking around.
I've been Sonia and I have been to a nude beach, and there's one in Jersey, by the way, a really big one in Jersey. And we saw kids running around, and like we're stark naked, like we're walking around, things swinging, the whole 9 yards, and there's a ton of people walking around naked. There's 1,000 people at this beach, and 95% of them are butt ass naked, and you got little 6-year-olds running around. I don't think that should be. I don't care how much you think it's okay. I think you're confusing kids at 6 years old.
I disagree.
I
I think that at 6 years old, if you're still old enough to shower with mom or dad, I mean, there's no difference. And I also think that it's not a huge deal for
If I had
beaches in general to be walking around, because you have women that have big boobs, that they have just the little tiny piece of cloth across their nipples and they've got a thong bikini. That, to me, there's no difference. I draw the line at those pride parades where they're literally whole out acting out every single scene in
okay,
public. How is that not
okay,
public indecency?
okay. I don't agree with the beach one either. But you say, okay, the kids are showering with a. Would I be if we had a 7-year-old daughter and I showered with her? Would you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I personally would, yes.
Would you? If me and you were married and we had a 7-year-old daughter,
Yeah, I think any parent would.
okay, then why the
Like
fuck?
my mom, so like my mom with my biological dad, once I hit a certain height, my mom was like, she can't shower with you no more.
So why is that okay to see that at a beach?
I think it's up to the parents. If the parents
Yeah,
want
at
to take
that
their kids
point,
to a nude beach, like who am I to say,
yeah.
oh, you probably shouldn't do that? Like maybe they're just trying to, maybe they're super progressive parents and they're just trying to familiarize them with being comfortable with their bodies. And
But
so
also,
taking them to the nude beach is the best way to do it. Like
and
everybody's naked.
also, what if like the parents are complete and total hippies where they go home and they friggin' have, you know, naked Wednesdays or some dumb
Yeah,
shit.
they're nudists or something like that.
Right.
See.
I think there's too much of a stigma on naked bodies, first of all. If you're not doing anything wrong, who cares? Boobs are boobs, penises are penises. Some are cut, some are not. Some boobs have huge areolas, some don't. Great. We need to stop being such prudes about naked bodies in general. So to me, a pride parade where they have, like I said, the pasties and she's in a thong bikini bottom, who cares? As long as you're not having sex on the float, who cares?
What about fake sex?
No, any
Depiction.
right, any depiction of it? No.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Europe is way more progressive in this because most of the people at the nude beach, they were European that brought their kids because it's very common over there. Like that's they don't look at sexual like
But
your
they also
body.
don't look at nudity the same.
No, they have straight. Yeah, that was the weirdest thing when I lived in Germany. Is at 6 p.m, you know, I'd sit down, turn on the TV, and on the regular channels, there's a full on porn going on. Like, we're talking like the public broadcasting channels, the channels that are just free to everybody. There's a full on porn on one of them. So it was.
I think when it comes to public nudity and really just public nudity, I think it's on the parents. And I think it would confuse children less if we were less prudes about public nudity and about the difference between men and women. I think it would help lessen the confusion for kids.
Okay. That is a wonderful, wonderful segue. Is there anything else we want to dabble on?
It's a good talk.
Okay, it was a great talk.
I'm waiting to hear about your answer, by the way.
Oh, what answer?
About your changing of your definition.
To be determined.
We stayed on topic. Yay!
I expect an answer tomorrow by close of business.
I won't concede, but
yes, you will.
I did not win the war, but I lost that battle. The war is still going on, but the battle, I got my ass kicked. I'm going to go lick my wounds and come back. Thank you everybody for
better.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for watching. Please subscribe, hit like, it helps us out. Like we always said, we're going to fucking do this anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we have 20 views or 1,000. But I would like a new Corvette, so more views would be nice.
2 more dogs.
Yeah. Well, we don't need views for that. So thank you, Hannah. Always a pleasure.
Of course, of course. And
Bye,
everybody, don't
Hannah.
forget we are on Spotify and we are on iHeartRadio. They are linked on every video. So click the link, hit follow, helps us out.
Okay. All right. Take it easy, everybody. Bye.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.